As you seek adventure, as you search for an unmatched experience in the great outdoors, you will find Alaska. There is no other place on Earth quite like Alaska. You are challenged by its monumental peaks, lush valleys, pristine lakes, clear, cold, cascading rivers. Alaska Outdoors is the greatest fishing in the world, abundant wildlife, and exhilarating quiet. Alaska Outdoors is limitless adventure.
I've been coming up to Alaska for several years, ever since I was 12 years old, and had a lot of different experiences. But this is the first time I've ever had the chance to get on a float plane and go for a ride in a float plane. Then we flew on off up into an area called Double Glacier on the Iliamna Peninsula. And what an awesome sight to be able to fly right over the top of a glacier. We made several circles around the valley. The pilot was really accommodating to us in the plane, and felt like you just reach out and grab a hold of a glacier. You could see the difference in the colors of the blues and the whites coming down, and the rocks mixed in with it. It was just fantastic. There's no way to really explain it unless you've ever seen it real close up on film or experienced it for yourself. It was one of those things that's just hard to explain. Exciting, very, very big highlight of my trip. And landing on the float plane on the lake was another experience. You set the plane down to where I honestly did not feel the landing. The water was so calm, so smooth, we sat down and it was just like glass. Didn't feel any landing. All of a sudden I looked down and I could see the water splashing off the floats, and we were on the lake. Fun experience. Well, coming out to a place like the lodge here that we stayed at was nothing that you compare to going to your local amusement park or taking your boy out to the show or something like that. Those things are all fun, and you go home and you had a good time. But coming to a place like this puts kind of a bond between your boy and you. You're able to do things out in nature where you've got the peace and the tranquility, along with all the beauty of nature itself that is there to look at and enjoy. Well, big highlight of coming on a trip like this to me was being in Alaska since I was a young man, 12 years old, and being able to have the fun that I had and experienced was kind of relived by bringing my boy Brandon, who's real similar to that same age, being 9 years old, and being able to have him come up here with me and see him go out and catch the fish that we were able to catch.
Morning, Brandon.
Hi, Dan.
You only brought one fishing pole.
Yeah.
That's all he needs, isn't it?
Break that one in about 5 minutes, probably.
Good. Those fish that big?
Yeah. Some.
Okay. Well, let's go get them.
The meaning of Tuwalaquah Lodge's name is lost. Still, the setting on Crescent Lake provides a location created by heaven for a father and son bonding experience, sometimes referred to as a fishing trip.
Oh, say, just every time we'd get a fish on and I'd see him with a fish, we'd just relive the earlier experiences that I'd had of catching rainbows that were similar in size and shape, and being able to watch him reeling in, just reliving my life over again through my boy.
Anything. These flies, something like this.
Okay, what we got here?
Put that on. That's a coho fly.
Coho fluorescent green.
Aggressor fly.
That's bigger than you can put in your mouth, man. Fishing for red salmon, one day we went across the lake. The other side of the lake to an area was a gravel area where the red salmon go in to spawn. Well, this late in the season, the reds have already gone through their spawning. They've already changed from their beautiful silver color into their red with a big green hook nose. But there's still a lot of fun to be had, especially for someone who'd never seen salmon boiling in the water in their spawning areas. Being able to take my boy there and go in there myself and cast a few flies out into the water and catch some of those spawned out salmon is still a lot of fun. They have a lot of fight to them left. Some of them have a lot of fight left on them. And occasionally you'll pull out a dollar or two that are mixed in with them. And that's great to see that where the fish end up there, they're spawning pools that they've carved out in the bottom of the gravel bars where they go in and lay their eggs, and catch a few salmon there before they return to nature themselves.
Well, let's see.
Okay, Dana, it's obvious Brandon needs some on-the-job training on what to do when a sockeye salmon takes advantage of a 9-year-old boy's lack of fly fishing experience. Right now, Brandon's not thinking about bonding with Dad, but that's exactly what's happening. There's nothing in any fly fishing manual about a three-handed maneuver. As a budding fly fisherman, Brandon won this battle by being lucky, not by being good. And Dan, the guide, adds a little sockeye salmon biology lesson. Spawning sockeye salmon males develop a humped back and hooked jaws filled with threatening-looking teeth. Like all salmon, sockeye salmon spawn in freshwater streams.
I was able to come to Alaska with my older brother, who was a resident here, and share the experiences that he had, and which was a lot more fun when you seldom go and have a fun experience that you don't share it with somebody else who tells you where the real fun things are to do, and be able to share things in life that are fun. And I was able to do that with my boy. Hopefully he'd come away from a trip like we've had with the same type of feeling that he was able to have experiences, and I was able to show him things as far as fishing and out of doors, and for example, leave it in the water and it can go away to produce bigger fish and better fish for somebody else to come along and catch for them, rather than let's hurry and kill this fish and take it home and eat it. True nature, leave nature the way nature is for the next person to come along, so that somebody else's boy and somebody else's son can have the same type of experiences and memories that we'll have. Hopefully Brandon will have those same feelings that I gained when I was a young man. You're able to do things out in nature where you've got the peace and the tranquility, along with all the beauty of nature itself that is there to look at and enjoy. And I found several times in a trip reaching down and giving Brandon a hug and saying, "Brandon, you sure are a good boy, I sure love you. You're a good boy." And he'd give me a hug back and say, "You're a good dad too." Brings tears to your eyes when you hear things like that from your boy, because you know that's real feeling. You can tell it's coming from his heart as well as it's coming from yours. You don't get those things from the hustle bustle of everyday city life. Also, the way life nowadays is put together, it seems like being on one-on-one with anybody's a thing of the past. When you're home, there's always somebody else there, more than just one person, and you're always in a group situation. Or if you're going to go to the movie or go to the amusement park, your boy or your kids, or who it be, your daughter or whatever, they're going to say, "Can I take so-and-so, one of my friends, with me?" Or, "Can I take Johnny from across the street? Can he go?" And naturally you say, "Sure, come on, let's go." But you don't get that same rapport between you and your son like you do out here when there's no one else to ask. You become not only father or son, but you become friends, you become buddies and companions. I'll say I took a lot of time, a lot of pictures, taking pictures of him catching fish and bringing him in and holding him up in front of the camera for me so we could have something to take back and show his mother. I'd like to ensure that Alaska be preserved the way Alaska is right now. Downstairs in the lower 48, the wilderness is darn near gone. And Alaska is the only place that there's going to be any wilderness, and we preserve it here. My boy is able to enjoy it, and hopefully someday his boy will be able to enjoy the same experiences we have here. And Alaska is the place to do it. If we preserve it here, we'll have it to do. If we don't, we won't.